In this video, we're going to use the four triangle congruence theorems to determine if two triangles are actually congruent or not. Two triangles are congruent when all sides corresponding and all angles corresponding are congruent. We're going to be dealing with the least amount of important information, though, with these four theorems. The first is side, 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 and the three S's represent the three sides in each triangle. If each pair of corresponding sides is congruent, all three, then you have a pair of congruent triangles. This one does not check any angles whatsoever, just sides. The second one is side, angle, side, and notice how the A is in between the two S's. That means your angle is going to be included or in between the two side lengths. So you need two side lengths from each triangle and the included angle. The angles must be congruent and the two sides, pairs of corresponding sides must be congruent as well. Angle, side, angle, you have a side included in between two angles. So the two angles must be congruent to the two other angles in each other triangle, and the side in between them must be congruent to the side in the other triangle. Lastly, angle, angle, side. That order matters. The side is not included. It's not in between the two A's. It's outside. It's called the excluded side. So if you have two angles in a row that are congruent plus the side next to the last angle in both triangles, they're going to be congruent. Now, if you're doing multiple problems like this, it's easiest to just get rid of the ones that you cannot use. Like, for example, side, side, side features no angles whatsoever. So if you're given angle information that you need to use, you're not going to use this one. Okay? Likewise, if you have more than one pairs of sides, you can't use angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. Those only feature one pair of sides. So eliminate the ones you can't use. It makes the list a little bit easier to deal with. Instead of having four, you may have two or one to look at. Let's look at this first example here. Number one. You are given information about angles, so one pair of angles, two tick marks here and here, that's one pair of sides, so I have one pair of angles, and sides, I have one pair, and then this right here is a second pair. Two pair sides. Okay. So, one pair of angles, two pair of sides. Can't use this one. It involves angles, and this one does not. Could use this one. Not enough angles, so we're going to focus on side, angle, side. So, do I have an angle in between two sides that are congruent? I have side, angle, side for this triangle here. Then I have side, angle, side in the exact same order. The two sides are congruent. This pair of sides congruent, and then the 90 and 90 are also congruent. So this is a yes by side, angle, side. Remember you want me to cover this up here. You'll notice that the right angle is in between the two marked sides. Same thing over here. So yes by side, angle, side. Let's go to number 3. If we look here, we have one pair of angles marked here. So that's one pair angles. How many sides do we have marked? We have one pair here. The two with the two tick marks, that's one pair. And then the second pair is right here. You know, a side is congruent to itself. So two pair sides. So we're only left with to use side, angle, side. All right. So the side, angle, side work here. You have side, angle, side, two tick marks, one arc, three tick marks, two tick marks, arc, three tick marks. It's the same order. So the fact that it's side, angle, side works here, it's a yes. Okay. Let's look at number 5. It's kind of a small picture here. I'll try and block it off. All right, so number 5, we have two pairs, you know, the two tick marks, that's one pair. One tick mark, that's a second pair. There's actually a third pair of sides right there, the ones congruent to each other. So we have 3 pairs of sides. There's no mention of angles whatsoever, so the only one that's possible to use is side, 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 because we have 3 pairs of sides. And it turns out you have one pair, two pair, 3 pairs. It's a yes by side, side, side. Okay. Number 6 on this picture We have one pair of sides, one tick mark, two tick marks, two tick marks. The third one's blank. So the third side being blank means we don't know anything about those two sides. We cannot assume that the third side is going to be exactly the same. So we only have two pairs of sides. And we have zero angle information. No angles given. And therefore it's a no. Or not congruent. Not enough information here. So you simply put not congruent and you move on to the next example. Let's look at this third example here. We have one pair of sides marked. One pair of sides. And then how many angles do we have marked? We have one pair here, and then we actually have a second pair right there. In case you guys forgot, those are vertical angles, and they are always congruent. Okay. So we have one pair of sides, two pairs of angles. So one pair of sides, two pairs of angles. So that's one S and two A's. And the only ones that have that, one S and two A's, is angle side angle or angle angle side. So we got to choose which one we're going to use here. So angle side angle or angle angle side. We got to look at the order here. Is the side length in between the two angles, or is the side length excluded? That's what you look at. So the two angles are here and here. The side in between them is not marked. Same thing over here. Angle, angle, no side marked here. But there is a side marked that's excluded. So therefore, we cannot use angle side angle because the side's not included. We can use angle angle side, and since the two angle pairs are the same and the side length is the same, this is going to be yes by angle angle side. So you're going to have to look at the diagram, determine what you have given to you as far as angles and side information goes, and then you're going to decide which of these you're going to try and use. And if you end up, you can't use them because it's not enough information or they're in the wrong spots, the angles or sides, it's going to be a not congruent. If it turns out you can use it, it will be a congruent set of triangles.